So that's the finished sink, guys. It's got that small fuse weld. Man, that turned out nice. This project started with a gentleman sending me a picture of this sink accompanied by a hand drawing with modifications to meet what he needed. He asked, "Can you make this?" Thinking this would make a good YouTube video, I said yes, designed it in SolidWorks, and got to work. So working on the body right here, 16 gauge stainless steel, 304 brushed. The drain hole's off to one side here, so putting cross brakes right now so the water will drain to the drain hole. I want the drain hole to end up being level and about a ½ inch lower than the body itself, so the longer ones will need just a little bit less braking than the short ones to get the drain level. Now here, just putting the dimensions into the computer for this ledge sink. Right here I'm using some urethane tape, which helps reduce marks on there. I accidentally overbroke that first bend there, and so kind of had to turn it around and break it back a little bit. But once you get the angle set, then you can kind of just run through these breaks. Yeah, that urethane tape, it works pretty good. The bottom die is, the top die kind of pushes the metal into the bottom die, so it kind of slides on the edges and puts some marks. That just eliminates them completely, really. So as you can see, there's the ledge there, all one piece. We're going to end up putting end caps on the sides, and this is going to be a 0 radius corner sink. You may have seen the 1-inch radius sink that I've done in a previous video. Check that out. So this is not quite as complicated as far as the corners. They did want a thick flange on the top, 1/8 inch. So normally I would have just made the flange on the outside as part of the body, but in this case I made a separate flange for the top, and that's 1/8 inch, like I said. It does have that one little bend on the back. I'm not sure exactly what that's for. That's just kind of what they wanted. I assume it butts up right to the wall. Here, forming the drain hole here to accommodate a flush fit for the drain. These little notches here I'll grind off. Those just kind of help align with the jig that I have. Getting some tacks on the end caps here. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys. Just quick little tacks. Definitely not trying to burn through with those. Setting up the argon. I'm going to weld both the outside and the inside on this one. So I'm going to weld the outside first. I'm going to purge the inside. As you can see here, like I was talking about with the drain, we've got 10 inches there, 10.5, and it's 10.5 all the way around that sink drain hole there. So that turned out real nice. Now I'm gonna clamp it to the table here with this all thread, nothing too tight, just so it doesn't move. Got the argon hooked up. Gonna minimize any leaks, and this weld, I'll go ahead and turn the argon way up just to get it purged quickly, then turn it back down to 5 or so. Don't want it too much to where it will blow the weld out on you or anything. This weld on the outside, that's what it looks like on the inside after I welded the outside, but definitely not trying to burn through here. So it's just a little fuse weld on the outside, and I will eventually weld the inside too, but I'm going ahead and placing that 1/8 inch flange that I was talking about on top here, and pretty good fit, making sure it's flat across the top, doing about a half lap to where that 1/8 inch fits over halfway onto that 16 gauge. So and when I weld it, it'll get a nice round little corner, and that'll be easier for polishing. Can kind of round it, already rounding it with the torch, and so you can, you know, take off less material with the grinder and not form any cracks or anything. So got a purge box here to purge the outside, and so right here I'm going to weld the whole inside and that whole flange. The box, yeah, serves a purpose for purging, but also keeping that flange flat. And this is one thing that I did have concerns about in the very beginning, was having that weld on one side of that flange. I knew it was going to pull to that one side. The metal shrinking after it's welded, that one whole side is going to shrink, and so it's going to pull. It's going to have a little curvature there, and it ended up not being too bad. That is another reason for the aluminum on top of that box, is to help absorb some of that heat. So clamping it up to there and minimizing how much warpage you're going to get. So nice little fuse on the inside corners there. Taking this, it's a TIG brush, that's what it is here, and it just kind of uses electrical current and a little bit of acid and removes the color off the weld. There was a little bit of black left and just a slight little color in the corners, so I taped that off and used Scotch-Brite to just get off that last little bit. So that's the finished sink, guys. It's got that small fuse weld. Man, that turned out nice. You can see how the flange is flat up against this jig I got here. I've used this box for other sinks before. I just had to modify this frame here that sits inside the box, so it could be used for different size sinks, or just make a different frame to accommodate a different size sink. So limits the amount of work there for custom sinks. This footage was shot last April, and man, I look pretty big here in this video. I'll be a lot smaller in my next video, so don't worry, I'm not sick. I'm just getting jacked, that's all. Be sure to share the video, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. For a video suggested just for you, click the thumbnail on the left. For the latest video, click the thumbnail on the right, and to visit the channel, click the icon in the center.